Hey guys, so we've got another collectibles unboxing today, and I'm sitting at my desk because it's actually a much smaller item than usual. So I just got this in the mail. It turns out Into the Fire Jewelry are fans of the channel, and if you're not familiar with them, you haven't seen them on Instagram and stuff before, they actually made some of the rings that are being featured in the Rings of Power show. So I would imagine that this is one of the rings from the TV show. So we're gonna open this up and see what we've got inside. So it came in a nice little leather pouch here. Very Middle Earthy, I would say. Stamped with Into the Fire Jewelry, established, it looks like 1982. All right. So we've got another pouch, a pouch within a pouch here. Again, stamped with Into the Fire Jewelry. How crazy it would be if there was another pouch. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. So this, if you're like me and you were poring over posters of hands for weeks at a time, this is one of the rings that Gil-galad wears. I think there's another ring of Gil-galad's that kind of overlaps. They kind of go together on, I think it might be his ring finger. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at the posters again. So it turns out this ring is called the Gold Charged Supernova. And if you've never seen their website, I've looked on there before when I found out that they were doing the rings for the show. All of their rings are inspired by fantasy and nature and stuff like that. And this one, the Gold Charged Supernova, it says, "Gold remains of a dying star forged into this stunning ring." Now, I don't think that they actually have a bunch of dying stars laying around it Into the Fire Jewelry, but it's kind of a fun little background that they put into each ring in the description. So I was actually chatting with the guys over at Into the Fire Jewelry on social media and discovered that all the rings that are solid gold are actually worked on by the owner himself. Dimitri is his name, and he does all the solid gold rings himself. And I also read online that these are all made by hand, which is pretty cool. So even though it's obviously looks very, very similar to the one that we see of Gil-galad, this one is actually slightly different. Like each one would be slightly different in their make because they're made by hand. So I love the detail. I'm going to get out my macro lens and try to get you some really, really close-up shots. Oh, speaking of which, I should get a close-up shot of this. So it looks like they have their logo made in a very similar style that we'll recognize as Tolkien fans. So they've got the I, the T, and the F of Into the Fire overlaid in a very Tolkien-esque way here. So I'll be honest, traditionally, I'm not much of a ring guy. I wear my wedding band and that's about it. But I might have to rock this on special occasions because this thing is pretty sweet. I'm recording this right before going to the New York City screening of the first 2 episodes of Rings of Power, so I might have to wear this as part of my, I don't know, it'll be my bling for the night, I guess. Or as much of bling as I go for myself, personally. Ever since watching the appendices of the Peter Jackson films, I've loved props and all the incredible work that Wētā did in designing the costumes and everything. And I love the idea that something as small as rings on Gil-galad's finger that aren't even, one of the elven rings of power, have so much detail and are handcrafted. So I'm really curious to see what other rings Into the Fire did for the show. I'm pretty sure they did the one that connects to this, that's in a similar style that Gil-galad wears on the exact same finger. And I know they also did one of Durin the Fourth's that we saw on his poster. But I get a sense that there might be more than just these 3 rings. So very curious to see as the show comes out. I'll sure I'll be peppering them with questions on which rings they did. But man, this is a nice piece. Like I said, I'm not traditionally much of a ring guy, but I can appreciate, being a Lord of the Rings fan, I can appreciate a nice, well-designed ring. So there we go, guys. It's a ring from Into the Fire Jewelry. So if you want to check it out for yourself, it's intothefirejewelry.com. Like I said, they've got at least a few rings in the new TV show, and presumably there'll be more on the way that they'll probably be able to announce, I guess, as the episodes air and more rings or more characters that are wearing the rings are revealed. So keep an eye on their social media. I know they're on Instagram. They post a lot of their work on there, so check them out. And a special thanks to them for sending this ring along so that I could share it with you guys and give you guys a up-close look at it. Well, that's it for this collectibles video. We'll see you here next time on Nerd of the Rings. Like, I can't not do the Gollum voice at this point, right? I know it's not unadorned like the One Ring, but it is a gold ring that mysteriously came in the mail. That's about as close as I'm gonna get, so.
Precious, so bright, so beautiful, my precious.